them. But one question which I started asking and started feeling was, how about the sustainability of the AI itself? Is AI sustainable? And the kind of power it guzzles, the energy it guzzles, the kind of data center that we need today, the overall environmental impact of AI is not funny. And I have some figures which I'll show you on ChatGPT 3, 4 and going forward. And so the carbon footprint, the water footprint, the energy intensity of all these disruptive technologies is something which we need to take care of. And digital infrastructure, we are deploying left, right, center digital infrastructure for digital transformation of different paradigms. How do we look at the carbon footprint of the digital infrastructure? We don't look at it. So does it mean that we have no way forward? No, we have. This is where our design, innovation, architectures, new approaches to solving or maybe optimizing the solution architectures for digital infrastructure and your cloud technology or even AI, we can improve the, you can say, operational efficiency, reduce the energy consumption, reduce the carbon footprint, reduce the water footprint, and all those aspects can be achieved, again, by technology and innovation. So technology is, as they say, double-edged sword. It has got its own negative aspects on the society, but it has positive also. It is up to us that how do we leverage it. Most of the people, across the world, I'm not talking, this is something local to us, have been mainly 99% people have been more focused on leveraging the technology for their own material benefits and their professional, personal and commercial, industrial or national growth rather than looking at solving the problems which are more important to humanity and human as a mankind. Do we have it or do we have to go with the manual mode? Okay, I can go without slides.
Visuals have its own effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Can we go to one or two slides actually? Can you move to the slide? Yeah. So this is one of my favorite slides. So is this the evolution we ever expected? See, as we have progressed, this is what we are doing to the nature, to the environment and all that. And as they say, nature no longer runs the earth. We do. And the climate is not politically strong enough to bring the change or to fight the carbon by itself. So it needs our support, our initiatives, our efforts to do that. Next slide, please. And then, so this is a question which I've been always asking. Future of life on earth in context of all these disruptive technologies that we are so enthusiastic, very bullish and very gung-ho about. Next slide. So this is something about that. Let's not go through all that. Move on next. And so we saw a lot of during COVID time. These two paradigms, digitalization and sustainability, came to the forefront of the mankind. This thing, you saw how digitalization helped us. Provide us the continuity for our personal, social, professional life, and even industrial and scientific research. For the first time, we had, a vaccine of such a complex problem statement, developed in such a warp time. It was really very, very fascinating to see, but it was all global collaboration, all through digitalization. And then we also realized in the first few months of the global lockdown, we realized how our grey skies started turning blue, how in our concrete jungles of metropolitan cities we started hearing the chirping of the birds again, which we used to hear in 60s, 70s and maybe little bit of 80s. Okay, so all those things brought these two topics, which are diametrically opposite if you really ask me, together on the same table for discussion. Next slide. And again, next slide. Yeah, this one. So COVID was a major disruption, but also an opportunity for disruptive innovation. And that's what, in COVID, everybody is saying we need to get used to the new normal. What is the new normal? Is disruption or disruptive innovation? Being an engineer, I look at the disruptive innovation is the now new normal. We need to be continuously innovating and undertaking disruptive innovation for the betterment of mankind to solve different problems. Next slide. So, and that reminds me about talking about the disruptive and most profound technologies. What are disruptive and most disruptive technologies are basically bearer of the change. However, whenever new technology comes, some old technology has to give way to it. And the profound technologies are those which actually become indistinguishable over a period of time. They weave themselves into our day-to-day life that we can't even see them. We start taking for them for granted. And for example, electricity. Do we question it? It's a different thing. We still have about a billion people on the earth who do not have access to the electricity. But then internet also has become like it started with profound technology, disruptive, it became profound. Now all the AI is also at the stage of transforming from disruptive technology to the profound technologies, which are becoming our way of life. We any question we have, we don't do Google search. We go to ChatGPT or whatever it's equivalent. Next slide. And so we are talking about AI. How did AI come? I think everybody must have heard that there has been a lot of research going on in AI for the last 35, 40, 50 years and all that. And we have examples. We have some scientists who wrote some papers, and in the 80s it was given a proper name, 80s or 90s. But why did it proliferate only in the last decade and a half? Because, as I mentioned, disruptive technology, they keep on evolving. And then there are different technologies at different maturity cycles. And the amalgamation of multiple technology paradigms, when they converge, at times they create such an inflection point that some new disruptive technology evolves. And that's what AI was basically started proliferating because of these three facts. Availability of big data from many sources, dramatically improved machine learning approaches and algorithms, and the capability of powerful computers, as well as the bandwidth for communication of data from one place to another. And this is where I think we see the stage of disruptive technologies or the AI per se, a robot trying to repair itself. This is the kind of scenario we are looking at. Yeah, so I thought let me give you a quick peep into the future by crystal ball gazing. Space tourism is already here. And we all know that we could start saving delivery drones anytime. It has been long overdue. We have been started hearing, but long overdue. There are some logistical issues and practical and regulatory issues. Then Hyperloop could take us in between cities in like 1/10 of the time that we take now. Spacelift designed to send people to Mars, Moon, and colonizing all these different planets and trying to make it livable for the human being is one of the things that we are already exploring. Virtual reality could replace textbooks during the next decade. It is already replacing, and then smartphone will become obsolete by next one. How it will be? There are two different variations of the thought process. One is it will get embedded into our this thing, and then the next evolution of the smartphone getting diminishes, the bio-smartphone. Our body will be working as the brain of the smartphone, and what we see it will be maybe like your smart glasses or wherever you are. It will all the GUI, your LCD screen, etc., would be into your smart glasses or whatever thing you are seeing, rather than holding a smartphone in hand itself. You think, it will act, and all the processing, everything, perception, all sensors. All that you see will become perception. Your eyes, your ears, they will become the sensors of the smartphone. It won't need external sensors. So that is another paradigm that we are looking at in very near future. Then super tall buildings could function like mini cities in the next couple of decades. We could entirely rely on renewable energy by the year 2050, and this is a very important vision. How do we ensure that we have green and clean energy, because our energy consumption is increasing day by day. Biotech. This is another very interesting aspect on innovation, where we are embedding biology in the different aspects of the mankind. Whether we talk about biohackers to CRISPR gene editing, the new industry is already doing a lot of wonders and all that. And that brings to the forefront is the biodigital convergence. we already have started some standardization work in biodigital conversion in IEC ISO. And so this is about how do we actually blend these two different paradigms into a seamless thing to help the mankind. The basic purpose then, yes, it may have its own negative connotation. There's a lot of research going on in, brain-computer interface and all that. Then human augmentation, whether by supporting through different, embedded tools or by some, physical things like this. You can have prosthetics which are controlled, okay, or you can have these superhuman powers with the help of exoskeletons. All these technologies are already in the advanced stages of development. And machine could start thinking there's a dated slide, but I think we already see this as a reality today. Okay? And we could live in a matrix-like virtual world, and people could also become cyborg by 2045. Then we talk about a few paradigms like hyper-automation, autonomous things, and I think this is very important from the IoT relevant point of view. But I'm not going to, for me, IoT is one of the, you can say, a layer on the digital infrastructure. It is just a user and perception layer which basically connects any digital infrastructure into any use case, application and all that, which yes, of course, you can create a signal chain and value chain for IoT itself, right from sensors to the app. But I think it is more of an overlay. But the underlying digital infrastructure is more critical for that. And what are the changes in those paradigm at the digital infrastructure level, at the architecture level, at the concept level, and how different amalgamation of different technological paradigms converging together to bring new aspects of Internet of Things or Internet of all those things. And you will see we have Internet of robotic things, we are talking Internet of military things, Internet of battlefields. I'm sorry I'm not staying on this, but this slide deck is for distribution. You can request our team to share it with you, and it is always available for sharing. Then edge computing from 2 points of view, it is important because rather than sending all the data from your IoT devices to the cloud and then doing processing there and bringing back the inferences from the cloud to the end nodes and devices, edge computing has improved a lot of throughput efficiency because earlier we used to have a very costly bandwidth for the data communication from devices to the cloud. So, and then this thing, and even in case of edge AI also, now on edge computing, we also have a new paradigm called edge AI, where we are trying to implement the AI at the edge, and I'll come to that a bit later. Then we have now Web 3.0. So Web has evolved. I think you already know, I'm not going to go through this. Web 3.0 is a new iteration of decentralized web, and it basically gives you a lot of autonomy and distributed controls. Then Metaverse. Metaverse is another new paradigm that you must have heard initially from Meta itself. That's why it was called Metaverse. But now I think this paradigm has evolved into a whole lot of different paradigms, and there's a whole lot of work. But it's a very interesting, complex confluence of multiple energy. So that's why these are the different elements of Metaverse. These are the confluence of diverse technologies. Okay, so it's not only one technology, as I mentioned. Any new disruption comes with a confluence of multiple technologies at different stages of maturity. And as different technology mature and their culmination brings new aspects, new paradigms. And so these are the trends which are actually shaping Metaverse. Then this is a value chain, like we have need again, digital infrastructure, human interface, decentralization, spatial computing, creator economy, discovery, and gives you the real Metaverse experience. There are some technical stacks, so these are some technical stack for people who are interested in what is the overarching block diagram or architecture for that. Okay, and talking about 5G communication, satellite communication is very much in discussion today. We are waiting the spectrum to be allocated by the government for satellite communication to proliferate. There has been satellite communication for 3-4 decades. That is more on the backhaul and very B2B kind of application. Now this satellite communication we are talking from directly to the consumer level itself. And what did we set out? For 5G, we started with the 3 different paradigms: enhanced mobile broadband, massive machine type communication, and ultra reliable low latency communication. But the flavor of 5G still you see is only the enhanced mobile broadband. Ultra reliable, low latency communication is still not there, okay, in the field at least, okay, and either massive machine type communication is still not there in the field. And we have started talking about 6G. And this is the evolution of all the 1G to 6G. Might have seen this kind of slide. So 1G and 2G were all about voice, 3G, 4G were about data, and 5G and 6G about remote control tactile internet. And as you see, in the 1G and 2G, the traffic was dominated by voice, 3G, 4G, video, and now we are talking about correlational data. And what we are looking at, this is going to be the architecture of future networks. We are not going to need separate network for voice, video, data, and all those different applications. And we are looking at one network addressing diverse use cases. And this is because of dynamic and secure network slicing. Network slicing is one of the paradigms brought in by 5G and the thing. But I think it is still not very well leveraged. But I think there is a lot of value in leveraging this technological aspects of the 5G core infrastructure. And going forward 6G also. So these are some further deep diving into 5G service-based architecture, like again microservices architecture. So this is interestingly for the computer science people, you can make a note of it. 5G is all about the softwarization of telecom, and it uses exactly the same IT technologies that you have been using for different cloud platforms. Whether it is microservices, whether they are containerization, DevOps. It uses all of those technologies, but to leverage all these different paradigms and expectations of from the 5G core infrastructure. We are again cloud native application. It's all cloud native, okay. And then 5G also has some lot of interesting threat landscape networks and all that, which we are looking at, and a lot of work has been done by global SDOs. Some is yet to be done. Now, this is a very interesting slide for you because 5G. Everybody talks about spectrum. In spectrum, there are basically three aspects: coverage, capacity, and latency. Based on that, you choose the band. There are different bands which have, you see the interesting characteristics of improving and improving the different aspects, where the coverage, capacity, and this. And there are the sub-gigahertz band, where we have a very wide coverage, but capacity is very moderate and latency is very low. And then similarly, as we go high, our capacity starts increasing, but our coverage and latency start reducing. Okay, and so these are some kind of overarching architectures for the networks in 2030. By 2030, we are looking at these different kind of architectures. We will have core networks, then we have cloud, edge computing, satellites, your software-defined WAN, wireless networks, MPLS network, access and edge, small data centers, IP networks, optical networks, L2 networks, and then at the corners you see all the four different disruptive technology paradigm: virtualization, quantum computing, memory, and AI/ML. And this is another way of looking at the architecture: front hall, back hall, again front hall from both sides. If you see from end to end. And now this is a very interesting slide, but it's very crowded. You can study it later on. But what we are looking at in 5G and 6G, we are looking at complete softwarization, of course, but then making the whole infrastructure end-to-end autonomous using AI/ML. And that's where the concerns also come because we are increasing the carbon footprint, energy consumption of the 5G core infrastructure, whether it is RAN or it is core or it is all that. But if you want to remove all the technical complication, this is one very simple diagram where we are heading. The future of digital infrastructure, what it is about. It is about computing power, computing network, data, and intelligence. These are the four things that are going to be predominant and domains that people will need to work on. And the more evolution we have in all these four paradigms, the better digital infrastructure we are going to have for any, whether individual, organization, or family, or enterprise, or industry, or whatever you may talk about. Yeah, so 5G, when we talk about, it was just a foundation. A generation of many first, but still a lot of things remain the same. What we planned, we wanted massive broadband, cloud native, pervasive connectivity, open and programmable, autonomic network, and time-sensitive communication. Some things have been achieved, still there are some yet to be achieved. And talking about 6G, this was. So when we talk about 5G, Actually, it is the original. On the left side, you see this, the original Carl Benz this thing automobile. So it is still that model. What we are looking for is something like this on the right hand side, and that we still have miles to go before we reach. And that's why I started giving you the background of the 5G. And this is where we head towards 6G. And there are a lot of research already going on, a lot of pre-standardization work is going on. In the next few years, we'll see standards coming up. By 2030, we plan to have some device ecosystem, system ecosystem in the market by 2030. So these are some of the aspects where we are looking at, and whether it is Industry 4.0, automated driving, and guided surgery, different apps and all the immersive experiences. So what exactly is 6G and all, or this new XG paradigm all about? And it's all about projecting a path towards universal autonomy. We are looking at trying to virtualize, adapt, federate, optimize and realize for universal autonomy. Complete the foundation with time-sensitive communication, embed security in the foundation, and bridge wireless and networking and cloud, edge to cloud continuum. We need a continuity. Wherever the business case or the technological case demands, we can deploy our different kind of software module platforms, whether at the cloud, at the edge, at the fog, on the device itself. And then these are some of other aspects. We are looking at future networks like space to air ground integrated coverage, 10 gigabit access, wireless sensing technologies, optical sensing, and this is now earlier we used to have even today we have a separate sensing pipe and a separate communication pipe. Now in 6G what we are looking at is integrated sensing and communication, and there are already a lot of advanced research, but still it is not at a mature stage yet. A lot of work still needs to be done for it to come to the industry and for commercialization. Then we talking about low latency. We are looking, as I mentioned, autonomous networks is one of the given kind of a thing for 6G networks. But as I mentioned, secure and trustworthiness is again very, very critical, crucial, and it's on the radar. Then space and satellite orbit operation. So you already have heard about LEO, MEO, GEO. But this is something I'd like to share with you. So in LEO, MEO, and GEO, what you see, all these different orbits are there. The closer you are, all that, your throughput is better, but then your stay time is there. But what is happening? I don't know whether you have heard about it. All these satellites, their constellation of satellites which keeps on roving across the globe. Every satellite service provider has, one of them has got over 6,000 satellites, orbiting the Earth in different orbits. And on any particular country, any particular geographical location, they stay for not more than 8 minutes. Does that help you? They have to look at the handover from one satellite to another. And now in India, we have done some very interesting work at CDOT. What we are trying to do is, so these are all circular orbits. We are trying to say that if we can make this orbit as elliptical, and then the satellite will keep on looking at India itself. For example, if we do it India-centric kind of orbiting and satellite, we'll have a maximum coverage for India for that satellite. So we may need a very few satellites to cover the India from across the thing, and there will be very less you can say handover from one satellite to another. Number of satellites we will be needing less, and this is you can see this a network of interlinked satellites for high availability. So we can have combination of different satellites and all that in the elliptical and of course orthogonal different orbits, and that will give us a much better coverage than the normal LEO, MEO, GEO paradigm that people are right now looking at, or they are popular and things are already being deployed and have been deployed. Now coming to the flavor of the season, AI. And AI is evolving at a breakneck speed. Like break speed, and right from virtual assistant, we are heading towards singularity. I don't know whether we will be able to achieve, but a lot of people are very bullish. I am a bit skeptical personally. So the real revolution was, there has been a lot of homework done, but the disruption has come with large language models, and there's some kind of way, the way they work, what it has done. And thanks to LLMs, we have arrival of the genie. Genie, you remember lamp wala jinn? So you make a wish and it does it. And LLM helps you do that, achieve exactly that. And the LLMs have been trying to do that. With so much of database with them, lot of contacts and information with them. Okay, and with the different models being evolved every day, they are able to solve any and every kind of problems there, at least. Not to full accuracy as of today. There are a lot of hallucination, a lot of bias, a lot of other issues. But having said that, technically they are on the path to achieving that kind of a, being the genie of the lamp. That they can, you wish it and it will do it for you. And even for our software enthusiasts, we have vibe coding. Now it can, LLMs can help you, write the code. You don't need to do the coding. And that brings a very interesting question. What will our coders do then tomorrow? They'll become useless. They'll become unemployable. So we need to have a look at the disruption. Then LLMs are being leveraged in IoT, industrial IoT, or even in BPOs. Like you see what we have, like, hey bro, I read the financial report. I think it is right time to ask for my motor replacement. Don't forget me, bro. So, the machines are thinking themselves because they are enabled by data, a lot of power, a lot of all that. And then in BPO, I'm just writing a self-evaluation maintenance report for my human boss. So this is the kind of things we have now. We can talk about, we can think about, we can actually implement these kind of things if we really want. And then, as I was mentioning, we are talking about Edge AI. Edge AI is a very interesting paradigm from multiple point of view. Because in the initial stage of phase of AI, what we were doing, you're collecting data from across the world, feeding it to the cloud, data centers and all that, and then doing all the processing, model training, inferencing, all there, and then taking all the output back to the end nodes and devices and computers, whatever you have. But now, with the Edge AI, what we are doing is we are distributing the load. We are bringing the processing, the training, and the learning, and even the inferencing right near your end devices. And the advantage it gets is you don't need to send all the data back to the cloud. You save a lot on bandwidth, a lot of storage and expenses on that, and you process there. And latency, the data you send there, it gets processed and then comes back. And you can also contextualize it to the use case problem. We have federated learning paradigm where, we federate, we have multiple edge nodes. You collect data, or contextualized data from different edge nodes, and they model process and they send only the relevant metadata to the cloud, your training engine or this thing, or inference engine, and they do that, and then feedback, incremental option, models keep on updating at the edge, and they start, you are able to do much better AI inferencing, much efficient and much quicker and much power efficient, cost efficient, latency efficient, and as I mentioned, every other thing. So that is very interesting paradigm of Edge AI that we are looking at. And now even for Edge AI and with the devices and all that, we also now are not depending only on large language model. Because as we realize, large language models have a lot of energy footprint, processing, carbon footprint, all those things which I talked about. With a small language model and synthetic data, we are able to solve a lot of context-specific problems in a much efficient manner. And now we have new avatars of AI agent, agentic AI, and so this is like agentic AI is more about it is basically to automate any workflows, orchestration, and service delivery in any use case, and whether it is workflow automation, healthcare, manufacturing, e-commerce, or customer service. All these things can be now automated using AI agents, which actually at the back end use the LLMs. And then we have so this is one example of empowering IoT with agentic AI. How does this help in improving the efficiency of orchestration and service delivery in any IoT platform? This thing. And then we have physical AI. Physical AI is all about embedding intelligence in the robots to make them more autonomous. So far, robots have been pre-programmed and they were able to do only controlled things, limited things. Now with embedding the AI into the robots, we are able to bring a lot of automation, whether at the at the home, in the hospital, or in the shop floor. And then the combination of agentic AI and physical AI can give you a complete enterprise with all the manufacturing lines and everything, like you can say so maybe a Maruti, a Hyundai, or whatever, a complete car plant manufacturing, and including all the ERP, the supply chain, the customer service, everything. The whole organization can be completely transformed into an efficient organization. We're leveraging the combination of agentic AI and physical AI. But then everything good comes with its own problems. Okay? And so now one of the paradigms we are looking at, particularly I'm very focused on this, AI and cybersecurity interplay. The good, the bad, and the ugly of this. So the interplay between AI and cybersecurity is very dynamic and multifaceted, involving both enhancements to security measures and new challenges introduced by AI technologies. The interplay creates a cybersecurity arm race where advancements in AI bolster defense capability but simultaneously empower threat actors with new tools. The interplay of AI and cybersecurity is a complex and evolving landscape encompassing positive advances, potential threats, and ethical challenges. So what we are looking at three aspects of this. Cybersecurity for AI. AI needs security also. Then AI, leveraging AI for cybersecurity, which is being used for last 15 years. I think I learned about machine learning being used for anomaly detection, etc. For last 15, 20 years it has been done. And now we have the dark AI. And we already have a fraud GPT, a dark AI example. You can Google it and you will find it. So what are the risks? These are some of the issues that we are finding with using generative AI. So people are very gung-ho about that. But these are so many risks that we see in generative AI, leveraging that in the cybersecurity risk. And then adversarial Gen AI is a new paradigm where we're talking about AI-driven cyber attacks, QR code phishing, then well-crafted spams, and adversarial AI ML. There are a lot of issues we can go through at ease. Then AI, ML, and Gen AI models are also under attack, whether it's polymorphic and metamorphic malware or perfectly perfect deepfakes, lack of good integrity checkers, fake news on another level, which we are already seeing today in social media. Then so we already have started working on the cyber defense detection prevention controls, fighting AI-driven cyber attacks with AI-driven defenses, automating the repetitive cybersecurity tasks to improve productivity and improve detection of APTs and other sophisticated threats, and improve intrusion detection and prevention. So these are some further Gen AI for anomaly and threat detection, cybersecurity, behavioral analytics, secure model deployment, real-time monitoring and privacy-preserving AI, synthetic data and privacy concerns. That brings me to a much larger paradigm where we are leading to digital trust. Digital trust is a very complex paradigm. We are dealing with everything digital today, and trust becomes a very, very paramount. Okay, and so one of the things that I personally am working on, we always talk about cyber security and cyber resilience. I think from COVID we should take a lesson. In COVID, what we did, we had the vaccine. What it does? It builds an immunity system in our thing. So we are now trying to leverage AI to build the cyber immunity in the systems so that they can preempt this thing with some kind of advanced learnings and all that, with leveraging all kind of machine learnings and deep learning and reinforcement, whatever it takes it, to understand it much before, preempt the threats and counter them before they happen, they attack the thing. So this is one of the things that we need to work on. And so now I'm talking about cybersecurity. We have been very used to hearing. But trustworthiness is something which we are working at the global SDOs because which is a much more larger and over-encompassing paradigm. It is much more nuanced. It's complex. Trustworthiness is something which is different from different use case, different technology, different contexts. Like trustworthiness of a car, for example, an autonomous car would be different in India than in US or in Europe because the context is different. The use case, the ground realities are different. And similarly, some particular medical device is allowed by some particular regulation, legislation in a country or region, but other countries don't allow it because of whatever concerns. And this trustworthiness actually subsumes all these 15 different paradigms: reliability, availability, resilience, security, privacy, safety, account, you name it, and it's all there. And these are trustworthiness of the digital and ICT system. Now when we talk about trustworthiness of AI, oh my God, there are 40 plus characteristics which have been identified by ISO committee on artificial intelligence. But if you really look at it, some agencies have already identified about 150 trustworthiness concerns in AI. So you see how complex and nuanced paradigm AI trustworthiness or even trustworthiness for any digital system, and today AI getting embedded in everything means our trustworthiness landscape becomes much more vulnerable, much more wider and complex and nuanced. And this is more close to my again personal heart. We have been talking about all these different 17 SDG goals. I think that's another favorite topic of mine, but we'll not go into that today. So one of the things that I think we should have as a 18th SDG today is a meaningful, safe digital life. How many people? We have about 2/3 of global population has access to internet. We are spending so much time on internet and social media and all that. Is there a way to ensure that our life we are able to lead? I mean, all these digital arrests and all these fraud that cyber fraud you are seeing, everybody is getting victimized. How do we ensure we need to do that? So I think this need to be made as one of the SDGs, or maybe some kind of fundamental right from the government. It should be enabled, empowered by this thing. And that brings me to another paradigm, much larger, digital transformation. We are always hearing, particularly since COVID, we have started hearing digital transformation. And what it is all about, the way I understood, whether you talk about smart city, smart grid, smart manufacturing, any domain, digital transformation is all about three kind of changes. Improvement of the infrastructure to make it more resilient and sustainable. Addition of digital layer, which is the essence of the smart paradigm. And business process transformation, which is necessary to capitalize on the investment that are being done. But what it is all about? What are the constituents of digital transformation? Normally, if you really ask me, anybody, when you talk about digital transformation, people talk about integration of IT and OT technologies. But I think we have moved beyond that. This is very old and regressive kind of a thought process. We already have network technologies which are evolved, as I mentioned, 5G, 6G we are looking at. They have gone to so much sophistication, complexity, and even richness that we need to understand them to actually maybe enrich our own digital transformation strategy in a comprehensive manner. Then IoT is everywhere, and then artificial intelligence as the new whiz kid on the block, which is more pervasive. But somehow, in the journey of digital transformation of every paradigm, every domain, one thing which we are missing is sustainability, which I think I talked before we started the presentation. I'll not repeat that. But so this, from my point of view, the genesis of digital transformation is more about sustainability as the true destination, resilience as the core characteristics of digital transformation, smart being just the accelerator, and standards are the chromosomes of digital infrastructure that will help you enable the digital transformation in any domain. So what is the digital transformation? Is it a technology? No. Digital transformation is not actually a technology. It's a complex paradigm with domain-specific implication. Can you see how do you navigate through this? So that's what digital transformation is. It's different from this thing. Each use case will have different way of looking at it. Today we are living in a very transient, very ephemeral world. And I'm just giving another quick round of different mega trends, different disruptive technologies that we are looking at. Some we covered, some maybe further we're looking at. And then disruptive technology on the radar on which a lot of work is going on, whether in standardization, in innovation, in research, in design. So these are some of the current aspect that a lot of work is going on here. But now bring me to my topic of my close, which is very close to my heart, which I started talking initially. I'll just take 5 minutes to conclude on that. So, talking about technology is fine, but we need to look at it from societal point of view. And what are the current imperatives from societal point of view? And this is some of the very quick landscape of that. I'm not going to read through all. Climate change, energy security, clean and green energy, energy efficiency, electricity access, global digital population, disruptive technologies, and their impact on society, industry, and business, including but not limited to ethical and sustainability aspects. Digital transformation, I just talked. AI is a double-edged sword. Growing carbon footprint of digital infrastructure, cyber threat landscape, a meaningful, safe digital life. Industry 4.0 to 5.0. This is another thing that, so we are always talking about Industry 4.0. In fact, we have moved for last 5 years to the next paradigm, Industry 5.0. Industry 4.0 is all about automation. 5.0 is all about further going beyond that, man-machine collaboration on the shop floor and sustainability and bioeconomy and all that. And then we have sustainability, resilience, and greenwashing. So there's a lot of greenwashing around these claims of net zero. And then whenever we talk about climate change, there's a myth. Everybody says we are all facing the same storm. Is it a fact? I don't think so. Climate change reality is different. Same storm, but the boats are different. Who are the most vulnerable people? The bottom of the pyramid. They are the most vulnerable. So we cannot say we are all in the same boat. Different countries, different people, different set of society, they get affected differently. But what we are trying to do? We are trying to do enough, but not enough. Someone got to do something, someone else ideally. And like I want to lose weight, but don't want to exercise or change my this thing. There's no Ozempic or magic pill for climate change. We need to. And what we are trying to do? All with our initiative currently, we are still trying to fix a stock problem, accumulation of the carbon with future flow instruments. What is it about? Like think of a bathtub about to overflow. The last cup may tip it over, but the problem wasn't that cup. Problem has been going on, evolving for, or this thing complicating for last so many decades or centuries. So we need to look at. So we need to learn from our past history. There are ample examples. If we do not, then the history will repeat itself. And one of the examples I can give you, half a century after plastic became pervasive, this is a state. We have 9 billion tons of plastic, this thing, out of which more than 7 billion tons is lying as a waste. We have not been able to dispose it of anyway. So we have plastic waste across and it's impacting our environment, our society, our children, whoever you can see. And AI, is it the new plastic? I think I mentioned the reason before. It's because of its environmental impact. And it is going to make our planet burn because data overload. So shall we have to wait for another 50 years for AI to bring to that level of enormity of the environmental catastrophe? No, I don't think so. We'll, maybe by 2045 we'll have this impact and we need to act now. Otherwise, and this is some further elaboration of why I call it, why I'm trying to this thing, and then what we are doing is, when we talk about AI again, because that's the most, you can say, flavor of the season now, so I like to talk about it from different perspective. We are riding the AI tiger. Shall we ever be able to get down or tame the tiger? We are living in a dichotomy. It's a very interesting dichotomy. And it is in AI itself, it has been accepted as an ethical imperative, but it is at the lowest priority. There's a lot of hype, but not real effort. And you see, this is something which I like to take a look. So these are some facts of the energy consumption, the carbon footprint, and the water footprint of the ChatGPT. And this is just only your ChatGPT 4 and 3. Look at all other, now we have the tools that we have for generative AI. Imagine the kind of environmental impact they are creating on our planet. Is it funny? I don't think so. So how do we manage these things? First thing, we don't need to go overboard about AI. We can still we can continue to rely on our natural intelligence and depending on the artificial intelligence. But however, AI has become the way of life. Algorithms decide for every individual today. YouTube decide for us this thing. All other social media decide whom to vote, where to travel, and even our shopping decisions are influenced by this thing. On the Black Friday sale, I think you must have read that AI-enabled tools help all these platforms, all these e-commerce platforms, really multiply their sales and business. So we are actually facing an impossible war between human intelligence and AI intelligence. The question is, would digital brain have mind? And there are laws, but is AI going to follow these laws? I don't think so. So, okay, so I think I'll just show you this maybe slide. Okay. Can I click on it? Can I play a video? This thing? There's a video. Can you click on this thing? I'll close with this thing. There's a lot more, but I'll stop at here because I've been asked to stop. Can you move the cursor? Yeah. And sound है? Sound होगा? Do we have sound? Forgot to tell you. We don't have sound and audio connected to the laptop. So, huh? Lights are off कर देना ये हॉल की. Yes. आप ऑडियो कनेक्टेड है? बहुत कहाँ से आ रहा है वो? कहीं और से आ रहा है? कहीं छोटे स्पीकर से, कहीं से, लैपटॉप से? वहीं से आ रहा है? ओके. Anyway, you play it. I'll explain what it is about. Just play it. Don't worry. Okay, so this is an example of some like at least 5-7-year-old video, and this is all about AI and what it can do to the mankind. And you see a small drone. Okay, it is all AI. In this small drone, miniature drone, it's all flying itself. Its processor can react better than the human being. This is a new autonomous weapon. Okay. Now you'll see how it works. See. You see, this had 3 grams of explosive, and it is enough to kill a human skull.
The skull and destroy the contents. That is an airstrike of surgical precision. It's one of a range of products. Trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains.
You have seen this in Operation Sindoor, and you are hearing all over the wars being controlled by drones now. But this is a 2018 or 2017 video. Imagine.
Now, I said this was big.
And see what it.
Why? Because we are thinking big. Watch. A $25 million order now buys this. Enough to kill half the city. The bad half. Nuclear is obsolete. Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest in search.
This short film is more than just speculation. It shows the results of integrating and miniaturizing technologies that we already have. I'm Stuart Russell, Professor of Computer Science at Bose. I've worked in AI for more than 35 years. Its potential to benefit humanity is enormous, even in defense. Allowing machines to choose to kill humans will be devastating to our security and freedom. Thousands of my fellow researchers agree. We have an opportunity to prevent the future US war, but the window to act is closing fast.
So you see, I think I'd like to close here. There's a lot of things I can go about. So, but okay, maybe this is the last slide. So what we need? Do we need artificial intelligence? We need artificial intelligence with a little touch of human, lot of governance, lot of control, lot of ethics around it. And for this, whatever needs to be done by different stakeholders, we need to do it. I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, sir, for the insightful and visionary lecture. So, it should be, sir, heartfelt intelligence only. We now invite any questions for the sir. Thank you. On behalf of I, Faridabad Local Center and JC Bose Institute of Science and Technology, I extend sincere thanks to our respected speaker, Engineer Narang and Kishore sir, and to our session chair, Professor G.S. Mundada sir. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to present mementos to both the dignitaries. I request Dr. Pradeep sir and Engineer I.S. Oberoi sir, please. Thank you, sir. Okay. We now begin one of the most revered academic segments of NCT 2025, the Professor S.K. Mitra Memorial Lecture, an annual lecture instituted by the Institution of Engineers, India, to honor one of India's greatest scientific pioneers. Before we begin the lecture, let us revisit the inspiring life of the luminary in whose memory this lecture is held. Professor Shishir Kumar Mitra. Born on 24 October 1890 in Calcutta, Professor Mitra had privilege of being mentored by the legendary Sir J.C. Bose and Acharya P.C. Roy. During his days at Presidency College, Bose's groundbreaking experience on Hertzian waves deeply inspired Mitra, shaping his lifelong passion for the radio physics. He pursued advanced scientific training at the University of Sorbonne, earning his doctorate in 1923, and subsequently worked at the Institute of Radium under the iconic Madame Curie, a remarkable chapter in his academic journey. His most influential work was in ionosphere research, from upper atmospheric ionization to night sky luminance, culminating his celebrated treatise Active Nitrogen, a New Theory. He was elected Fellow of the Royal Society in 1958, received the Padma Bhushan in 1962, and was honored with numerous medals and distinctions. Beyond research, he also played a pivotal role in educational reforms, especially in shaping the higher secondary system in West Bengal. Today's session stands as a tribute to his scientific excellence, leadership, and national service. Presiding over this session, Dr. S.V.A.V. Prasad, Professor and Director at Lingya Vidyapeeth, Sir, did his PhD in satellite communication. He has 400 research papers under his name and guided more than 40 students as doctorate. We are honored that he will be chairing this session. Our speaker of this memorial lecture is Dr. Alok Nath De sir. He is founder and CEO of TechCrafts.cps and former corporate VP and CTO at Samsung. Is a distinguished technologist with 36 plus years of global R&D leadership across Bell, Nortel, Hughes, ST Ericsson and Samsung. A fellow of IET and IE, he has shaped India's agri-tech landscape as chairman of MIT's National Agri-Tech Program 2022-25 with 50 plus patents and stewardships of Samsung India's 7500 plus patent milestone. Such a huge number, sir. He has earned top honors including IEEE Technologist of the Year 2024 and the Alexander Graham Bell Prize, a mentor to 40 plus startups and co-editor of 6G Mobile Wireless Network. He is recognized among the world's top 50 CTOs. We are honored to have you, sir. So, stage is all yours, sir. Please come.
Okay, very good afternoon. It's very late, so I won't take too long. And first of all, thanks to all of you and the IEI for inviting me to deliver the Shishir Kumar Mitra Memorial Lecture for this year, 2025, and Faridabad Center. So thanks again for inviting me here. In the previous sessions, Kishorji has explained all the technologies, right? From 5G, 6G, AI, IoT, cyber security. He didn't get time, otherwise blockchain. Also non-engineering aspects of ethics, sustainability. Many things have been covered. So I'll not go into the theory part of it. Today I have chosen a practical aspect what we have done in last 3 years under Ministries of Electronics and Technology. So I have been the chair for last 3 years in government program by name Agrionics. That has been spearheaded through CDAC, Kolkata, but it touched multiple organizations, startups, bigger organizations, institutes. So I have just taken 3-4 such snapshots to highlight. Also, I wanted to say that today's topic is IoT, and IoT with the embedded sensor technologies. This is very, very vital because I have seen in my Samsung life, not in the agri context, but in smart home context, we have tried to do two things. We have tried to make all these devices intelligent. Any way possible, whether it is a vacuum cleaner, when we go out of home, that vacuum cleaner starts cleaning. If it detects by chance, there is a kitchen burner is on, it can detect, it can shut down, or it can send some alerts. We have seen in the fridge how to do an AI enabled in terms of vision so that you can see what all food is inside, and you can order, you can do calorie calculations, all of these things. So my time, I was responsible globally for corporate VP for Korea. So I used to go every month to Korea for 7-10 days and then play the role in India. We have connected 150 million devices in this way. For example, if you are sleeping, even the sleeping mattresses, there are sensors, embedded sensors, the topic that we are talking. There are companies who are building these mattresses, engaging sensors, so that you can, wake up and I can say, if this, then that. This is the AIoT, AI plus IoT. If I wake up, if you detect, my mattress detects I wake up, then can I turn the geyser on? Can I put the coffee machine on? That's the then part of it, and action. So there is an intelligence and there is an action. These two together, we call it AIoT. And that is what has been the premise in many things. It may look simple, but sleeping detection is not easy. It requires a lot of intelligence, because even in the night when we sleep, we turn and toss, but that is not waking up. Waking up is different than half asleep. So therefore, all these algorithms, it is run in the devices, sometimes in the edge and sometimes in the cloud. All three are there in a smooth operation you can collectively do. So that is what we have been doing on the smart home. I just wanted to highlight, same concept, you can take it to smart cities with different sensors, for example, electronic waste management, right? In terms of garbage collections. Many of those have been also adopted by Indian startups. I wanted to present in this talk a little bit of our agri-tech and how AI, IoT, blockchain. My company, TechCrafter.cps, we call it ATIC 6, AI, Trusted Technologies, IoT, Cobotics, Collaborative Robotics, and 6G. These 5 technologies, how to apply to 3 verticals. One is med and health tech. We are building digital twin for personal health detections, mobility, and manufacturing. These 3 verticals we are working on as a company, and I already highlighted on the Samsung one. What I wanted to present is these 3 years the government gave a responsibility to bring in how CDAC and other organizations, they do a lot of research, but it doesn't go to the industry. So I can say that last 3 years, 5 projects. First thing I did is select from 15 projects, the 5 projects, and we decided to make sure at least 4 of them will go as a technology transfer, what we call TOT, to the startups who can then scale up. And we have met that objective. I'm happy to say that. So first project, just to give you these are all practical projects. First of all, e-NAM system. You know, government has that marketplace. This is where we felt that the farmers are at times deceived or not getting their right prices. There are middlemen. Now the middleman could not over time, even though initially we thought we could bypass them, but they play a solid role. But at times they are charging people, they're paying for lesser. So we wanted to build this tool so that the farmers would know what they deserve. So you see here, our quality assaying for e-trading is a major issue. This is the problem definition. How people have been doing, they have been doing more by sampling, manual inspections, manual record data entry. We put these technologies, camera is a sensor, there are other sensors, there is a conveyor platform. We put image processing, convolutional neural net, the DNN, the cloud, that's the technology. This is our end goal, assessment digitally, fast and non-invasive. And we made sure the 1361 ENAM, Mandis that are there, they all get benefit from this project. This is the setup, one simple setup. We decided few grains and the visual inspection of the grains. So if you go into ENAM standard in the government, you will see pure discoloration, damaged, broken, immature, foreign matter, weevilled grains. These are different types of not perfect grains. And therefore, they will be paid lesser. But what percentage of it is broken? Is it crossing that? That's what we set in this. If I go to the next setup, I guess you can see that this is what it is. One of them, multi-crop quality analysis. So these are the seeds that we did. Tur, Munghol, Masoor Dal, maize, Bengal gram, 13 of the grains that we chose. And we also added Ragi and Bajra later to do that. These are the quality parameters. We built the conveyor belt. This is a crude form, first prototype to take it. You can see from CDAC. And July 23, Sri Bhuvnesh Kumar ji, he launched it through online meeting. But then we started deploying, and now I can say that this has been a full product. It is passed on to startups, and it is being sold in very good numbers. There is a report of that. So product has been developed, software copyright, transfer of technology. It was in final stage. And you can see the clustering, and you can have the measurements like that. So that is one scale. This is the second. Chili, Rajasthan, full of chili. You've seen movies, of that. Here, obviously, there are different metrics. The chili stalks, how long, how much is bent, what is broken, the grains, the size. All of these are measured, and more than 5 centimeters, and then you can see, these are different metrics. We have started with Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and then went to Ranchi, and the same way we taken. So pod length, broken pods, without stalks, foreign matter, discolor, damage, these are metrics against which we do. So that's the second project. And the third project, just to give you a sample, even for fruits, we did tomato. So this is a tomato that's here. The whole idea is it ripe? Is it partially ripe? Is it unripe, or is it damaged? And then there are size measurements. Now, we started with 2D visual inspections, but if you can fit cameras properly, or you can change the conveyor belt a little bit, you can see 3D. So we started moving it so that you can see all sides. Otherwise, it may look from the top, it is nice, but actually it might be ripe. So that's what we built. Now all these products we have been able to migrate to the startups. So that's one set of projects. I wanted to give 3 sets of projects. So the second set of project is animal well-being. And we started looking into how IoT, we talk about IoT, it's like all concepts and smart homes, but what can we do with cows? We understood that cows are many a times have the disease called mastitis. It is very painful. The udders get swollen, and the milk quality. So same idea, but we started splitting into 2-3 problems. One is they are suffering. So what can we do for them? Second, many a times the cows, the menstruation cycle equivalent, or the period when they can be inseminated, it's a short period. So if it gets skipped, then the kids will come later. So can you detect much earlier so that artificial or natural insemination can be done? And third, the milk quality. So IIT Kharagpur team worked on that. Milk quality, at times it is not detectable that it is bad. So this mastitis infested milk, visually you cannot detect. But if you continue to drink, then human can also suffer from that. Therefore, detection is very, very important so that we can segregate. This is a project that we did. As you can see, the gateway and the cloud is connected, and there is this IoT devices that's kind of built. This is those who are engineers, students. For them, there is a front end React JS that we used, back end Node.js, web server, MongoDB, and InfluxDB client. So the Express Web Framework is used for this kind of solutions. We also did another category. This is with Directorate of Poultry in Hyderabad. So we went into the whole field, and there are again 2 different problems we addressed. One is the chickens. As it is born, the sex determinations, because you have to treat them differently, is a very manual process, very laborious process, the male or female. And they get mixed, and food and other things, there is a separation. So what we did is a sound detections. After a day of birth, if you pass them through a nice place, and we simulated a small, not too much disturbing, but they will shout. So as the chicks pass by, that sound, voice analysis, we can detect whether it is a male or a female in a day's time after the birth. So we give a day's time, and if we are not sure, we created a third category. For them, a manual separations can be done. If you are for sure male or female, or not so sure, then it can be done. So that is a project that they are using it, and a lot of manual assessment has been skipped. The other thing which we did is the IoT solutions, temperature, humidity, airflow, ammonia, air quality, CO2, like the AQI for us in Delhi. We know 300. Yesterday when I landed, I saw 340. That's the AQI. Every cities are suffering, but Delhi is more. But even for these animals, it's very, very important to maintain a right level of environment. Then we added a few more. What is the weekly feed intake, body weight, vaccinations done, immunity, so all kinds of metrics, and then you can create alerts, activate fans, bulbs, exhaust fans, baseline data creation that has been done can be used for commercial farm. So these are two projects that are related to this. So a lot of things can be done in the animal well-being that I have seen and we are working on it. This is a AQI predictions, each of these actual and predicted values using machine learning, using AI that have been plotted to show that whether it is sulfur dioxide or carbon monoxide or nitrous oxide, all of these we can plot to see what the status is. The third part I wanted, before concluding, is machine type communications. The Kishorji was explaining 5G moving to 6G. Now some of us were, during COVID time, all the works were stopped. So some of us, this book we wrote during the 2020 and we got it published. This is the world's first book on 6G, edited, that we were able to do in 2021. It's being widely used. What is the big difference between the 5G to 6G is the machine type communication and satellite being integrated. Like it is not a 2D communication anymore, not everything on ground, but drones, satellites, maritime, that is getting integrated. And in 4G, 5G, there has been machine communications to some extent, but 6G has been designed specifically, whether it is massive type of machines, whether it is critical. If you go for a surgery, robotic aided surgery, then it's a critical item. If you are driving a car, this is not only critical but low latency. If you are doing a agri, maybe massive, but not necessarily critical. Even if few sensors don't talk or die, doesn't matter. So there are characteristics, and in standards, we have been able to define now what's massive, what's low, what's critical, of different types for machine communication. And obviously the structures are changing, architecture you have seen in the previous. So one other project that we did in Kashmir, apple harvesting, and this is where cobotics or robotics, how can we bring it into this technology? I've already talked about AI and IoT. This is another flavor of the project. This is complex because as you can see, there is a sliding mount, there is a stepper motor, robotic arm. On one hand, we have been trying how everything can be indigenized because many of these things are not available. Very frankly, quality is not there. So can we build? But in the interim, can we also use other machines from foreign to be able to do? This is the project that we could not yet go into tech transfer. But it is complex one. I'll tell you what the challenge is, because not always good things are good things, because bad things tell you what you have to learn. And this is where CS comes into picture, mechanical, electronics, everything comes into picture. Two things. For example, when you hold the apple, first of all, the apple orchard were not designed that way. The plants would be there, so you can't pass any vehicle. So now if you go to Kashmir, they are making sure when they put the orchard plants or the apples, they will give enough spaces in between so that manually you don't have to do, you can pass through a robotic machine. So the newer places are getting designed that way. So that's the first thing to do. Second thing, when you pass it on, you go and grab the apples, but there is a twig in front. So if you grab and you take it, the twigs get broken. So no farmers like that, because that twig will have separate apples subsequently. So you have to do a path planning. Computer science people would know that you have to go around and pick through a path that is not obstructed. So that's a very complex problem. That is what we are trying to solve, because when we are gripping, this is a thing. Third thing, the soft gripper versus hard gripper. If you grip it too firmly, then the apple would be spoiled. So you have to grip it sufficiently and then put it onto the bucket. That's not so easy. That path planning, holding it right, picking it up, that's why it's taking time, but it's a challenging project. We are still continuing with Sher-e Kashmir University. and hopefully in next 2 years we'll perfect some of these to take it. So this is the setup, and obviously there is a lot of AI, vision analytics, trained yellow V7, which kind of technology do you use, robot controlled, and signals coming from there. If we can do for apples, we can do for many other things, but Apple is a tough problem, but very widely used, and it is possible to do, just need some time. Last, just to conclude that, it's not just these are 3 projects, but when you go into the field, we see vertical farming is coming up. A lot of entrepreneurs in the city are trying to make things that used to happen in the rural areas. So vertical farmings are coming up. Israel is a very good place. I've been twice there, and we are learning from there how you can do vertical farming. And then you need the robots to spray manure, to put water, because it's very hard for humans to climb up to this and do it. So in each of the racks, the coordinations would be there, and perfectly it sprays water or manure to do it. So this is a way to go. Also, the environment control through the IoT mechanism, many things that were not happening in India, like lettuce was not so much happening back earlier. Now you can have it. Many other fruits that are really meant for US or other places, now we have started doing them in India because we can control the environment. You can maintain the temperatures, and then why not to do it. So those are some benefits that we have. This is in last snapshot, future of farm. How it will look like, 2030, 35, I don't know. But just imagine, in US, a big farm. We have in India smaller farms, so that's a challenge. But bigger farm, one man can control this whole place, right? You can see here, there is a fleet of agribots. So this is doing specialized agribots to crops. They will do weeding, fertilizing, harvesting, and microdot application of fertilizer. They just put it on that. And many a times we overdo on fertilization. It is well known. So you can have a heat map of it, and you can appropriately put the fertilizers. You don't have to put same amount in every spot. You know the heat map, you just complement that. So that's this fleet of agribot. You have a smart tractors here, that is GPS control, steering, optimized route planning, and soil erosions, and save fuel costs significantly. Survey drones, aerial drones. Now, Prime Minister has launched Drone Didi scheme. Lot of trainings are ongoing in different villages I've seen, and hopefully that's again mapping the weeds, yield, and soil variation. This is to take the picture, the heat map, and then obviously you can use agribots or tractors to feed the data. Texting cows, that mastitis I mentioned, or anything, a cow is ill, you would not be able to go and detect, and there would be smart alerts that would be coming, sitting here. If any of these are falling ill, you can get it detected and take care of it. And so all farming data is integrated, and that's kind of a picture of future farms you can do. So again, I think all the technology of AI, IoT, cobotics I mentioned, we can apply 6G coming, latency reductions, but I didn't want to talk today about theories that we are already doing, and we have books, and you have listened to Kishorji's presentations. Those are theories, but applied to it, 3 years of work with CDAC, about 10 or so startups that have worked, 15 institutes, Jodhpur, IITs, Kharagpur, many others, dairies, farms, national ICAR in Delhi. We have been there. I've visited all of the ICAR research institutes pertaining to these projects, and there is a result. We're happy with some success of technology transfer, 5 patents that have been done in each of them, one of them. And then the last project, we hope to take it in next 2 years. Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir, for acquainting us with technological advancements. On behalf of the Institution of Engineers, India, and Bose Institute of Science and Technology, I extend heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Alok Nath De, sir, and our respected session chair, Professor S.V. Prasad, sir. Now I would request Professor Pradeep Divri, sir, and Engineer I.S. Oberoi, sir, to present a memento as a token of appreciation.
And special thank to him because he was not scheduled to deliver a talk, but he did do forward. Thank you.
So gentlemen, we are running late by half an hour. So there is a slight change in the schedule. We will break here for lunch. And after lunch, we will be conducting that project competition session because that is in the way. So that we don't come here and again go there. So we will be coming from there. So cameraman और इनसे भी आग्रह है कि इसके बाद जो सेकंड सेशन होगा लंच के बाद तुरंत वो शाकुंतलम में होगा और उसके बाद हम यहाँ आएंगे. So, thank you very much. Please, all are invited for lunch in the Sri Krishna cafeteria. Krishna Bhavan. All are requested.